December 1998, Caitlin. I was surprised to get such a formal photo from Martin. All the pictures I had sent him of me with my friends were goofy by comparison. In his, Martin was wearing a suit that looked too big for him and was staring straight into the camera, looking quite serious. Still, I could see the sparkle in his eye and the hint of a smile on his lips. I immediately put the new photo under the piece of glass on my desk, next to the first one he sent. Looking at them side by side, I realized that we were growing up together, so far apart. It was strange because even though we had never met, Martin was the only person I felt I could be totally honest with. I never worried that he would judge or tease. On the contrary, I could tell Martin whatever was happening in my life, knowing he'd always take my side, no matter what, even over the silliest stuff, like the time I saw Lauren hanging out with some older kids at the mall. I ran up to her and said, "Hey!" And she literally turned her back to me and continued our conversation as if I wasn't there. I can still hear her say, "As I was saying," while I just stood there growing hot from humiliation. That was in the middle of eighth grade. I described the entire incident to Martin, who responded in his very next letter. "That's so rude." Another time, I got into a really big fight with Lauren over a Janet Jackson CD. We were dancing in her basement with a bunch of our girlfriends, and somehow the CD got ruined. Lauren blamed me. I was so upset. I then thought, I have to tell Martin, and immediately felt better. He knew all about Lauren. I told him the whole story, ending with, "She's so mean." And Martin responded as if he totally understood, like he didn't know anything different, as if he was just like me. By then, he really was my true best friend. In hindsight, I'm almost ashamed of how ridiculous my teen dramas were. I had no idea what Martin was going through because he never let on. Instead, he responded to my silly stories and never said much about his own life, not even when I asked him. But there were clues hidden in these upbeat, cheerful notes, like the one he wrote me in November of that year. In addition to asking me if I had heard the new Spice Girls hit, Viva Forever, he also wrote, "At our school, we wear uniforms, so our parents do not bother buying us as many clothes as you have. You are lucky." I think he was actually trying to protect me from knowing how incredibly hard his life was.
February 2000. Martin. My mother didn't walk in her new sneakers. She floated. When people asked about them, she'd jump up and down to demonstrate how durable they were. She kept all our new gifts neatly stored in the same large box they arrived in, placed in the corner of our room, and would invite friends in to see them. This was new. She never had guests in our home, but my mom was very proud to have all of these things, and she wanted to show them off. We were too, though the new clothes were complicated. We spent the first few days trying everything on 7 or 8 times in a row, swapping with one another, having fun. But then we realized that we couldn't wear any of them to school, as we had to wear our old uniforms. We did not want to wear them when we got back home, to do our chores or play around, as we were afraid to get them dirty. Everyone wanted to save them for special occasions, and there were not many of those happenings in our lives, so they mainly stayed in the box. My father, however, woke up every morning and put on his brand new shirt and shorts to look for work. It made him appear, and feel, less desperate. I particularly appreciated the package of 10 toothbrushes. Inside there was a booklet that discussed dental hygiene. It said you should change your toothbrush every 6 months. I was shocked. I had had mine for 7 years. The bristles were all beaten down. I was so happy to exchange it for a new one.